I'm Ashley Bullington, and this is the Warmup. Temperatures are dropping in the Metroplex, and only 4 more weeks until the regular season is over. It's time to separate the contenders from the pretenders. A lot of big games this week. Let's take an in-depth look at some of them. Let's start with our game of the week. Mansfield-Lakeridge at Cedar Hill. The Longhorns had been cruising right along to a 5-0 record until they ran into Mansfield Summit last week and only put up 3 points in a 7-3 loss. They need to rally this week as Lakeridge has all the momentum coming into this game. The Eagles have won 4 in a row while riding the hot play of quarterback Chandler Rodgers. The senior has thrown for over 1,200 yards and ran for 600 more. However, if rain doesn't play a factor, Cedar Hill is one of the fastest teams in the Metroplex and could use their athleticism to get out on top. A key for the Eagles is for Rodgers to make the right pass at the right time. He has thrown 8 picks this year already, and if the Longhorns can cause turnovers, they may pull this one out. Things are very tight in District 6-6A, with 5 teams jumbled up at the top of the district. Every game has a bigger meaning. Flower Mound Marcus takes on Coppell this Friday, with both teams 2-1 in district. Marcus is led by running back Justin Dinka, who's off to a slow start, but could have a big day against the Cowboys. Coppell has been very up and down this year and could use a signature win to ensure a playoff spot. And finally, how about McKinney North? Last week against Wiley East, they got shut out in the first quarter. Looked like it would be a tough night for the Bulldogs, right? Wrong. They only scored 90 points in the last 3 quarters. This week, they have a big home matchup with West Mesquite. The Wranglers and Bulldogs are jumbled up in the middle of 7-5A and could use a win to solidify playoff hopes. Big games produce big-time performances. Here's a look at 3 guys who had performances that may have landed them the MVP bobblehead. Flower Mound quarterback Blake Short had a huge night against Irving Nimitz. Last Thursday, Short threw 5 touchdowns, all in the first half. The Jaguars raced off to a 40-8 halftime lead and coasted to victory. Short wound up with 227 yards passing and those 5 touchdowns. Arlington running back B.J. Rodgers had a big night against Arlington Bowie. Rodgers rushed for 180 of the Colts' 302 rushing yards on the night. He did not find the end zone, but had 2 huge 50-plus yard runs that broke the game open. And finally, Allen with another dominating performance last week against Plano East. And the man making things happen, wide receiver Theo Weeks. The senior caught 8 balls for 115 yards and this touchdown as the Eagles put up 74 points against the Panthers. Be sure to catch Wingstop Inside High School Sports this week as we'll have a special look at Arlington's best start in 30 years. Now, let's take a look at the rankings. There's been quite a shakeup in 6A as both Cedar Hill and Trinity got upset. Allen won their 19th straight game against Plano East, 74-36, and stay in the top spot. Not to be outdone, Duncanville put up 76 points as they shut out Lake Highlands 76-0. The Panthers are solidly our 2nd-ranked team. South Lake Carroll jumps 2 spots to the 3rd position with a 41-17 win over Byron Nelson. New to the rankings is Mansfield Lakeridge. They held off Waxahachie by 2 scores last week to come in at number 4. And our new 5th-ranked team is the Haltom Buffaloes. They pulled off the biggest win in school history by beating Trinity on the road. And with a 6-0 record, they are in the rankings. No shakeups in 5A as Highland Park blew up a close game at the half and beat Mansfield Legacy 28-7 to hold on to the top spot. Another huge win for Aledo as they crushed Burleson 46-6. Bearcats are still at 2. Denton Ryan was in a tussle with Colleyville Heritage but pulled away to a 45-30 win and remained at number 3. Our fourth-ranked team is the Reedy Lions. They are picking up some serious momentum as they annihilated previously unbeaten Lovejoy 51-0. Lone Star is our fifth-ranked team. They took out Independence 27-6, but have a tough game Friday against the Cullens. Now that you're all warmed up, it's time for the cooldown. To kick us off on the cooldown, we have some winners, starting with Fossil Ridge. Ridge beat Keller Central 38-21. They scored 21 points in the first quarter. They had a big celebration after and are now sitting in the second spot in District 5-6A. Another celebration I can appreciate. McKinney High School had a big win. They took down Plano 17-7. The celebration was almost like they were playing on the world stage with a little ole. Haltom is now 6-0 after beating Trinity last Friday night. They won 48-34 and got a big shout out from an alumni. Super Bowl winning former TCU player, the Big V himself, number 72 for the Eagles, Mr. Vaitai, saying he wished he could have been at the game but had a prior commitment in New York the Thursday night before. Last but not least, we want to send our thoughts and prayers for a speedy recovery to one of our friends, head coach Reginald Samples, who underwent hip surgery. Samples is not going to be on the sidelines for the next few weeks at Duncanville, but he knows his Panthers will take care of business. Get well soon, Reggie. That's all we have for this episode of The Warmup. You can follow our social media accounts to stay up to date with all things high school football and get you ready for the best 30 minutes of your weekend. That's right, Wingstop Inside High School Sports, Saturday at 6:30 p.m., hosted by Pat Doney. I hope you're ready for a great football weekend. I'm Ashley Bullington, and thanks for watching The Warmup.